Welcome to Kingdom Life today. I'm your host, Lynette Dutton. It's great to be with you today. This week, we're talking about purpose, vision, and calling, and I'm so excited. It's one of my favorite topics. I've got a program for you today. I want you to stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Living the kingdom life. I don't know what they told you, but you know we living it. We're living the kingdom life. My God keep blessing, yeah, you know that we just chilling, man. Living the kingdom life. You see me blessed, no, I never will be stressed. Yeah. We're living the kingdom life. I don't know what they told you, but you know we living it. Living the kingdom life. My God keep blessing, yeah, you know that we just chilling, man. We're living the kingdom life. You see me blessed, no, I never will be stressed. We're living the kingdom life. I don't know what they told you, but you know we living it.
Welcome back. I'm going to tell you what, I have not gotten as far as I wanted to get in this series this week. So we are going to pick up. We have been talking about potential, purpose, creation, calling, vision. We've been using that example about the masterpiece of your life, how God has that complete picture. He knows exactly the beautiful piece, your original art that your life is. He sees that end before you were ever created, before you ever began, before that blank piece, that blank canvas ever had anything on it. And not only did he see it, but then he broke it up into a bunch of puzzle pieces. And so it's like the puzzle is being formed on this blank canvas to where a piece at a time starts showing up. And then we have to work at putting it all together. He's a genius. And so if you wait long enough, the picture develops on its own. But for some of us, we like to be in the know. And so as soon as we start figuring out a little bit, it's like, well, how does that fit in with this? And how does that fit in with this? And so he gives us those cues and clues through life. And so I've been using that example. So the last quote I gave you on the last show before we ended was, you were created, you were put here on purpose for his purpose. And so that's where we're going to pick up. Your puzzle piece or your masterpiece is a puzzle piece in all of the universe of everybody who ever lived and how it all fits together. All the timelines. It's creating this beautiful thing called the kingdom. And so every one of us fit in somewhere. I know you feel like you don't fit in anywhere. I know, but maybe it's because you're trying to fit in the wrong places. And so hopefully through these messages, not only is it going to tell you how your puzzle works together, maybe it'll help you figure out how you work with other people and where you fit. So that's my hopes, at least. And so you're created to worship. Creation comes before calling. You're created a being to worship and fellowship and have relationship with God. That is your creating. And then your calling is secondary. He doesn't call you to do, he calls you to be. So I just want to ask you, man wasn't even created until after the heavens and the earth and all of that was created, right? Adam doesn't even come on the scene until after all of that. So I know that at times I think that God needs our help. Yeah, I paused on purpose. I know what I'm saying. But I want you to think about that. God does not need your help and your assistance. He needs you to be and to worship and to flow authentically with what he has for you. So a lot of the stuff, he created human beings, not human doings, which is why we're created to worship. Being created and worshiping, that's all being. you do that. I'm not asking you to walk around 24/7 with a boombox on your shoulder, sing, I know who I am. I'm not asking you to do all that. I'm not asking you to worship outwardly 24/7 a day, praying, walking around talking to your invisible friend at work, and having these on. That's not what I'm asking. It's because of our being. Yes, you need to have times of worship. Yes, you need to have times of prayer and fellowship and relationship with God. You do that several ways. You do that by reading the word, asking him what he means by the word, asking him to reveal it to me. What do you want? What do you want me to see? I can remember one of the times I was having one of these, what am I called? What's my purpose? What am I here to do? I've got my own business and I love Jesus and I do TV stuff when I'm at church and I do financial stuff and training and team building and traveling when I'm at work. And I was looking at some different programs to continue education, because I believe if you're not learning, you're not growing. If you're not growing, you're dying. I don't want to die, so I want to learn to grow. So we're doing all the television production. Bishop Bismarck comes into Augusta, Georgia. He's doing this big prayer summit. Absolutely amazing. I love Papa Bismarck. He's our Father in the Lord. And Pastor Chi-Chi's with him. It was such a treat. And she asked for people to come down, and I can't even remember exactly what the altar call was for. But I was down there. Why was not the important thing. It was what happens after the why. On that day, I had already signed up for this coaching day. So I was going somewhere where they were going to tell you what it was to be a coach. And so I had that day scheduled for the next week. And here I am. I want to say it's on a Monday or Tuesday because she's flying out that afternoon. And I'm at this altar call and I'm praying and I've been trying to, which way do I go? Where do I go from here? God, I know you've got more for me. It was 2009 and I'm just like, what is it, God? There's just so much opportunity here. Which door do I open? And I'm praying and she lays hands on me. She's praying and she whispers and she says, I want you to read Isaiah 45 and 3. Isaiah 45 and 3. And she kind of quotes it in my ear. And she says, with people come responsibility. Now, I've been in the people business since I was in my early 20s. Actually, probably before that because, I was a youth leader. I was a dance leader. Since I was 16, I was in some kind of church leadership. And she says, with people become responsibility. And, at first I'm like, what does that even mean? And I just started praying and I started pondering. And the next week, it was a very powerful, very impactful altar service, great impartation for Pastor Chi-Chi. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get my hands back on her and give her a hug. I haven't seen her in many years now. So the next week comes and I'm sitting in this room and it's called Dream Releaser Coaching. I'm sitting in this room and Dr. Earl Brown is up to speak on coaching. And he starts talking up and just speaking my language. Like my baby is leaping while he's talking. And I'm sitting there and my husband's sitting there. And it's a powerful time. It's not a church service. It's, how you can coach people to be and do and grow and lead. And it was right up my alley. And he reads this verse, and it says, I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I'm the Lord thy God, which call thee by name. And Isaiah 45, verses 1 through 3 are my life scriptures. That was the biggest aha when it came to purpose for me, is because Pastor Chi-Chi, just 5 or 6 days before that, had prayed that, had whispered that, had given me that mandate. And then here comes somebody, totally different circles, doesn't know about that meeting, doesn't know the people I know. I'm sitting in this room, and other than Dr. Dutton, I don't know anybody in this room. And he starts illustrating this verse and talking about how everybody has a treasure inside of them and riches inside of them. And as a coach, it's up to you to help them cultivate and dig up these things, to find these gems that are inside of them. Because sometimes, it looks like a lump of coal. It doesn't look like a diamond in your life. It looks like a lump of coal. Sometimes it looks like an issue. Sometimes it looks like a problem. Sometimes it looks like, a happenstance or chance or a spontaneous instance, but it's all orchestrated from God. And so we're sitting here and he starts talking about that. And my mind is like, woo. So all of these things that God gives you starts fitting together. And when a piece fits together, okay, so this is because I'm thinking coaching, business, I need this for work. I need this as another stream of income. I need this for what I do. Get that? I need this for what I do. And then I get prayed on this scripture. And I'm in this class thinking this is going to help me with what I do. And Dr. Dutton, if you tell him, oh, we're going to Atlanta. It was in Atlanta. We were in Augusta. He's like, yeah. Because he's thinking, okay, we can go to this. Then we're going to go to this great restaurant. We're going to do this. We can meet this person. And road trip. That's what he hears, road trip. And so he's having a great time with me. And he's totally in it for the road trip and for the food. And I'm thinking, okay, this is for what I do. And this is going to help me do. But it was really because of who I am and who he wants me to be and in my being. Because generally and naturally, these gifts and talents and these abilities that I have already been working in this direction to find out what are their skills, what are their talents, when I'm hiring you, what can you bring to the team? And so I'm already doing these things and I'm already coaching them because I'm like, okay, so you do this well, but we need to polish this. So you see how this is starting to fit. I thought it was for a job. It's not for a job. It's not for a business. It's because it's who I am. Potential focuses on doing. What can you do? What could you do? What can you do more? Can you do more to get to that potential developed inside of you so you can achieve something in life? Like you can do more studying if you want to make better grades. But or you can do a crash course or, but if you're going to be something, you don't need a crash course so you can just ace a test. You've got to take something away from this test. You actually have to learn this stuff. You actually have to experience it. You've got to be developed. So creation comes before calling, and calling is secondary. And he doesn't call you to do, he calls you to become. It's not about the thing it's not about the thing, it's about who you're becoming and being while you're doing it. So I told you that all these pieces of my life, and I'm using my life just because, maybe you can pull something out of my life that I learned that I fit in, or you can kind of take your piece and say, oh, maybe that's how that fits. And I told you that I was in retail makeup. I was in banking and and then I had my own business and insurance, and then I was developing, and how all of this finance and HR and team management and team building is all becoming a part of who it's who I am. And it highlights, a lot of times your natural giftings and talents will come up if just exposed to the right things. So it didn't matter what atmosphere I was in every single industry I worked in, the training, the managing, all of that stuff always came to the top. That's why I could start out at entry-level position and always rose to management quickly. It's just because of who I am. I'm a leader. And I was telling you how that all fits in to my now and to kind of where we see this thing going. And so we need to be very cautious that these decisions, these doors, these opportunities, the things we're giving ourselves to, there's many, but there's really only two. They fall in two categories. The door is either of God, it's a kingdom door, it's exposing you to the things that you need to accomplish for kingdom fulfillment, for purpose, or it's a door of opportunity and it looks really good and it looks shiny, but there'll never be any true fulfillment because these doors are death and life, life God, death world, death enemy, death flesh, death, yeah, maybe I want it, maybe it's shiny, pleasure's a sinner for a season, all of those things in this door. So you could have two opportunities. So I know through some of my life, I've had multiple jobs open to me. I told you about that time of transition where we're praying. There's all these doors. It's like any, meeny, miny, mo. But there were some of those doors that would have led in the opposite direction of where we are today. Not that they wouldn't have been good, not that they wouldn't have produced an income or a good connection for a day, but it wouldn't lead to where we are now and where God has us. It could have delayed some things. It could have detoured some things. You got it. Okay, you get it. Purpose and calling. Who you are is not a title, a position, or a job. See, so many, even in Christendom, are after a title. They're after a position. They're after things. Or you're identified. If somebody says, my name's not Ashley, it's Dr. Ashley. Okay, great. But doctor is not who your being. It's not your creation. It's your job. You're a medical doctor. Ashley is who you are. It was who you were born to be. It's the creation of God. All these other things are titles. It states a relationship. It states an education. It states a position. It states a job. But that's not purpose and calling. It's something that helps facilitate purpose and calling. Okay? So maybe you need a PhD or a DMD or DDD or a Doctor of Divinity or DDIV, whatever the initials ABCs are behind your name or in front of your name. Maybe you need that to accomplish something or to get you to the place of your calling. But that education and that title alone is not it. That is not it. And that is not where your identity is. Your identity is in Christ alone. It's a part of who you're becoming. It's a part of the process. It's a part of that thing. So if you're all about just the title, just the diploma, just the degree, just the job title CEO, let me tell you, CEO and CFO aren't always cracked up to be what you think they are. Because I know CEOs and CFOs that have nothing. Because the company they're working for has nothing. Okay, so you're the CEO, CFO, COO, and employee of the month every month because you're the only employee. Okay, well, that's no fun. So you can say CEO and it sounds great. And if it's on a business card or a website, wonderful, but that doesn't make you any different than the employee that you are. I'm not trying to hurt feelings today. I'm just saying you've got to see. God doesn't see that. I've worked for Fortune 500 companies. Right now, the company I work for isn't a Fortune 500 company. But does that make this company less important? No, it's actually more important. Why is it more important? It's because of the call that's on the company. I work for Dominion Television. It's a kingdom company. The whole emphasis behind Dominion Television is to spread the gospel of the kingdom, to follow the mandate that Jesus put on everybody, is to go and tell the world, go to the uttermost parts of the world, give them the gospel, the good news. That's what I do. That makes my job now more important than it did when I was cashing checks at the Fortune 500 company I worked for. Now, the person I was cashing the checks for that day, I was giving the money to, may have thought that job was more important because I was paying him. I was giving him his money. But let me tell you, if I could give him what I have today, the word, that would carry him a lot further. That paycheck was spent a long time ago. I bet you he had that thing spent before the weekend was over. But the word of God lasts more than that paycheck would have ever lasted. So what I do now is more than what I ever did then. Okay. Clarity. Only God will bring true clarity of vision and bring everything into focus. And so, how do I know that? Because that's what his word is about. That's what he does. Okay, so we are going into vision, and I'm going to drop this and give you just a nugget and before we close. Vision. Without a vision, the people perish, right? Okay, so Habakkuk 2, verses 1 through 3. I will stand upon my watch and set upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered and said, write the vision, make it plain upon the tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Awesome. Vision. So I know you guys know that. There's a lot here. I mean, I can break down when it says, I set upon my watch, and how you have to be a watcher. You have to be a seer. Upon the tower, how you have to have the proper perception, and watch to see what he will say. Powerful, and how you will answer, because what you see, so much. But then he says, write the vision. Write the vision. Write the vision. Make it plain upon the tables, that he may run that readeth it. So you've got the vision, and then once it's written, and somebody that reads it is going to run with it. Somebody's going to work the vision. They're going to run with the vision. There's going to be an action taken. The vision is for an appointed time. So he may give you the glimpse of the vision when you're 20, but you may not start seeing that vision really come into play until 40 or 50. Because it's for an appointed time. But at the end, it shall speak and not lie. Your vision is going to speak, and it speaks loudly. Though it tarry, wait, for it shall not tarry. So it may tarry from the time you get it, but it's going to be accomplished. Okay? Whew. So much here. So you need to have a throne room perspective, which is you need to see things like God sees them. So God will give you a glimpse. He'll tell you enough to say yes, which is like a long range vision. It's how far can you see. Now, the higher up you are, the further you can see. We lived in this this place, Lookout Mountain. And from Lookout Mountain, and it's actually on the border of Georgia and Tennessee. It was we moved there 2010. I told you it was after that time of transition. And I mean, that alone speaks just volumes. So we're up here on the top of this mountain, small community, but top of this mountain, and you can see 7 states from the top of that mountain, from Lookout Mountain. So I was actually living in a place, and actually it was like a block from where I lived. You could see 7 states. I'm sorry, it's just speaking so much to me because we're called to take mountains. I'm called, the Duttons, me and my husband, to be in the media mountain is one of the most significant ones. Also the mountain of religion and possibly government, but the media mountain is where we really are called. So it was a significant time that after we were in a time of transition, that he puts us in a mountain to see 7 states, to see a territory. All this is prophetic. So, and it shall speak. But if you get the proper perspective, you can see further than others see. You can see before others see. And you can see it finished. It talks about your range of vision, seeing further, seeing faster, seeing deeper, and seeing more detailed than everybody else sees. So when we pick up here next time, we're going to start talking about vision and how it applies with the purpose and the calling and the creation. And this is just awesome. I know you can tell I love this. So make sure that you're setting your clock and that you're watching me every day, same time, same place. God bless you. I love you. It was great. And you know that it is time to start living your kingdom life.
Living the kingdom life. I don't know what they told you, but you know we living it. We're living the kingdom life. My God keep blessing, yeah, you know that we just chillin', man. Living the kingdom life. You see me blessed, no, I never will be stressed, yeah. We're living the kingdom life. I don't know what they told you, but you know we living it. Living the kingdom life. My God keep blessing, yeah, you know that we just chillin', yeah. We're living the kingdom life. You see me blessed, no, I never will be stressed. We're living the kingdom life. I don't know what they told you, but you know we living it.